All right, so we had a great trade yesterday afternoon in SPY inside Ticker TV, the live trade room at TickerTank.com. And basically, I just wanted to kind of go over it and explain the whole thesis behind the trade because members in the room were interested in knowing the details of how I spotted this and why I made the trade because it was really a nice solid trade. So first of all, it was a trade in SPY, but I made the trade based on what I was seeing in the S&P futures. So this is a screen that I watched throughout the day. It's a 4-grid screen. I've got the top left S&P futures, top right Dow 30 futures, bottom right Russell 2000 futures, bottom left Nasdaq futures. So we've got the futures of the major 4 indices, but in this case we're going to focus on the top left, the S&P 500 futures. So I'd noted a nice consolidation pattern here with consolidation support at 1105 and resistance right around 1113. And all in all, this is just a 2-day chart, 2-day, 2-minute bar chart of the S&P E-mini futures. So we had this strong support, and I said, basically we were just really flat, light volume, sideways trending in the market. I said, you want to keep an eye on these two important levels here in the futures before placing any crazy trades on the equities or ETFs reflecting the major indices. So we've had a nice break here right around 230. We had this, or right around 215. We started to see some downside pressure that pushed the S&P futures below this 1105 support level, and there's a decent little spike in volume on that break through that support level. So there's the volume on the break, and there's the break I'm talking about right there. So after the break, I wanted to see a little bit of retracement back towards that 1105 support turn resistance level, and I wanted to measure that based on the Fibonacci retracements. So I took a look at the Fibonacci retracements. First of all, I zoomed in on this action here and drew the Fibonacci retracements, and you can see here that right about 50% on the Fibonacci retracements was 1105. So back to 1105 and a quarter roughly was the level at 50% retracement coupled with that consolidation support turned resistance. So I took this and I converted it over to SPY. So I went over to SPY, and the support level isn't quite as nice and flat as that 1105 level in the futures, which is why I pay attention to the futures and I base other trades off of action that's taking place in the futures of the major indices. So here's that breakout right here that we had noted in the futures of the S&P. There's the downside move and the breakout. And once I saw the retracement back to 50% level, I put in a short order here in SPY. So that short was a short at 110.95 limit, and it was right around this level right here. So we got the fill, and we got continuation to the downside. I had the target on the trade at 110.50, which just so happened to be right at the low of the day in SPY. The target was hit on the trade. We took about a little over 0.4%. It's not huge, but I mean this was a great day trade. And if you can get a 0.4% out of a day trade on the SPY, then that's a win for sure. Especially when you're only risking about 0.15%. So a little over 0.1%. So the way I established that target of 150 was again by utilizing the futures. And if we take it back to this image here, we had basically, I was looking at this from a perspective of the initial resistance kind of being right around 1110, and then this 1105 support, giving your height about 5 points. So I was anticipating a move to around 1100, which is a big psychological barrier. I didn't anticipate a break below that level. So that translates to approximately 110.50 in SPY, which is where I established the target of 110.50. Sure enough, the trade worked out beautifully, and we had a nice little gain there.